Welcome back to another day of the StarCast Star League Season 2. This is going to be the final round of 8 match, and what a matchup this is going to be. It's going to be Best facing off versus Royal. As you guys know, I'm a big Royal fan. However, just like Sharp, Best is on quite a heater. In his previous match, he absolutely crushed Rush. It was absolutely brutal. So I think actually Royal's going to have a tough time here. Let's take a look at our bracket, see who's already made it into the round of 4. We saw last time Sharp took down Hyun 3-0. And then in the top side of the bracket, we also had a 3-0 Snow over Hero. That was quite impressive. And I would say the match of the round of 8 so far has definitely been Shine versus Sins. Those were some great games, and it's reflected in the score. Let's take a look at the map picks for today. Does Troy get through? I can't imagine it getting through. There's no way you let it get through as a Terran. Yeah, okay, you can see it's the ban from Royal, and then we had a ban of Citadel from Best's point of view, and that does mean that both of the 2-player maps get put in. We are going to start off with Royal's pick, though. It will be Retro, so let's get into Game 1. Okay, where are we spawning? Alright, in the top right, we do have our blue Protoss. It is Best. And in the bottom right, we do have our white Terran. It is Royal. Now, Royal, you know, he made a big splash on the scene. What was it, like 2 years ago? Like, he had a couple of big ASL runs. However, I feel like I haven't really seen him get the results that I was expecting in the past year or so. On the other hand, Best, you know, he's been doing really well lately. I think this is definitely going to be a tough opponent for Royal here because of how well Best has been playing recently. And everybody knows Best is well known for his big-time macro play in PvT. Now, I do wonder if there will be any type of weird shenanigans. You know, Royal is someone that I do know does proxy starport quite a decent amount, but with these particular spawns, I don't think this is exactly a good proxy starport position. And I was actually going to mention this. Did we think that this is going to be a 12 Nexus? And I actually thought that this was going to be a normal gateway expand, but instead it is going to be the legendary 12 Nexus here. And with the racks being already this far away, this doesn't look like it's going to be doesn't look like we're going to have an option for like a pull of SCVs. Like, every second matters versus a 12 Nexus. And I actually did not catch the gas timing of Royal, but I think it was a 12 gas this time. He is one of the few players that very consistently go 11 gas. Like, him and Rush are like, they really do it quite a lot compared to someone like Light, who does play more macro types of timings. Again, we've got that cross scout from Protoss, and he is going to intercept the SCV, and he'll have to make a guess. Did Royal come from bottom right, or did he come from top left? Let's see if he can actually sniff it out. Back in Royal's main, despite it being a 12, I think it was a 12 gas, he's still getting down that 228 factory. Alright, that's definitely a 12 gas timing. First Marine's out. And it was an in-scout from Royal, so he will find him second, and he will have the option to pull here. I really don't think he's going to with how far away his buildings are. Now look at this. Probe's saying, nope, you're not scouting. At least not yet. Going to buy as much time as possible, and just as a by the way, Best ended up going the wrong direction. That's a bit unlucky for him. And now that Royal sees that this is a 12 Nexus, he's continuing to build some more Marines. I guess he does look to get some damage. Yeah, okay, he's going for 4 Marines, so now it's definitely going to be a pull here. You're not building 4 Marines. You're not building 3 Marines if you scout this quickly, so this is definitely going to be an SCV pull. Now, can Best get rid of the SCV? Because if he can get rid of the SCV before the SCVs are ready to be pulled, This could be a disaster. Alright, 3 Marines are out. There. 5. You know, it's hard to criticize pros, right? Because I'm not nearly the level they are. But this looks like a half-ass pull right here, man. I don't think I've ever seen 5 SCVs be enough here. However, Best did get really greedy. It is only a single gateway, so I guess in that sense, you don't really need to pull that many for it. However, this Zealot, it's already bought like 10 seconds of time here. It even gets off a couple hits onto the Vulture. Well, it ends up dying. I am surprised that it ended up being 2 Zealots off of 1 gate. There's the first goon. And Best is going to sack his Nexus. I think because he opened 1 gate, this is all you can really do. But you can see Protoss is up workers. There's 6 SCVs pulled here. So it's like he's up 8 workers, really. I mean, that's a massive, massive advantage. Meanwhile, because it was not a huge SCV pull, Command Center is going to be coming down relatively quickly. But I think this is still an okay position for Protoss. He probably rushed into a fast robo. He'll be able to clear out the bunker and the mines relatively quickly, and then respond accordingly. I feel like this is probably just going to transition into like a normal-ish game, especially since there's still 3 SCVs here. Range, I'm going to guess, probably going to be done in the next 30 seconds or so, and we should have mines in just a moment. Now, what I would love, and I know this is kind of crazy because Terran did pull SCVs for this pull, but I would have loved if he had have actually sent over an SCV to top left or top middle, built a starport there, because he's got all these Vultures already built. They're not going to be effective versus Reavers. You've already laid your mines. You might as well use them with a drop. But as I say that, it looks like this is going to be an elevator out of the main. And if there's an elevator out of the main and there's a probe with it, that proxy starport that I was talking about at top middle may get scouted in just a second. Or could have gotten scouted in just a second, I mean. Look at this, though. The Vulture spots the probe. Can he snipe it? Wow, this is tilt town for Protoss. Elevator's out of probe, gets it sniped. And actually, my starport follow-up would have been scouted, and it would have been really bad for Terran. Either way, Best going for Nexus now, and we can see that Terran's already caught up. He's up in workers. He's got his natural already up and running. He didn't really build that many Vultures either, so his tank count is pretty good. His factory count is quite low, as expected, but this looks like it is definitely in favor of Terran now. Now, all Protoss, or all Terran needs to do is try and delay this third base as long as possible. Looks like that's not going to happen as the third Nexus ends up going down at top middle. And in Best main, I did notice that we got the observatory, of course, but I didn't actually see if there was a support bay anywhere. Hopefully support bay is coming, because that's one of the ways you can punish Terran for going moves like this. You know, get a couple of good Reaver shots into a low tank count, but because the game has progressed so far, like we're already at 730 almost, I actually don't think Reaver will be that effective. He's gonna have to make something happen, whether it's, you know, channeling his inner snow, loading up the Reaver as the tank shoots it and not taking any damage. But Reaver is definitely one of the best ways to get back into the game, but I'm just not seeing it at this point. It seems like it's too slow. And now it's actually really looking great for Terran. Up 6 workers. All he really needs is like 2 more cycles of SCVs, put him at 45, and he can flood factories if he wants. I mean, he would just have massive econ. You can see he's killing off his Marines right now because he hit the dreaded supply block, not the legendary Artosis 44 out of 44, but the 60 out of 61. This is proof, though, that even pros can get supply blocked from time to time. And here we go. Shuttle into the main. Needs to pop this tank at least. Wow, he already took a big shot there. Ends up getting that one tank. And unfortunately, he took a lot of damage on his shuttle. I'm going to say that that was not really worth. Yes, he got a tank, but he did take a lot of damage onto the shuttle and even took a shot onto his Reaver. But he still has the 2 Reavers here. We'll be able to use them to stop incoming pushes. And Royal, he's not ramping up his factory count as fast as I thought it was going to be, but I guess it's probably because of his pull. Now he's going into the 5th factory. And I actually think this is going to be a timing. I really do. I think that he's going to use the spawns to his advantage, you know, push towards the natural, use that high ground that he has at mid-right to make it really hard for Protoss to deal with. So I really do think that this is a committed 5 fact. I do not think this is within expansion. We've got double Reaver unload. Goodbye, Marines. Okay. But with... Wow, he's actually got to be very careful. With range already completed on those Goliaths, they hit really freaking hard. And with only 33 health on his shuttle, hope he's building a second one. Because if he loses the Reaver, this game's done. There's going to be no tech. There's going to be no, you know, real units on the field other than the 2 Reavers. Yes, there are some goons and a couple Zealots, but they don't have speed. There's no Templars. Like, the real lifeline here is that these Reavers get work done. +1 weapon already done. Look at that observer. That's nice. Wow. I'm actually surprised at the work count for Royal. Is he really just going to 5-fact expand here? I mean, this is a lot of workers. He also hasn't gone into 6th or 7th factory. If he wanted to just all in with this, he could definitely do it with a 54 worker count. But I still don't see any of those big buildings coming down. Supplies are, you know, pretty close. If you're within 15 of Protoss, you're doing a pretty damn good job. So this is looking still pretty good for Terran. And it actually does look like... actually does look like this is going to be an expansion. I mean, look how slow he's creeping. Oh, big shot. Oh, wow. He got 2 shots on to those Reavers. Those have got to be softened up now. But he's still buying time here. Still no, like, massive push. Okay, here we go. Finally, are we going to get the push out? Oh! Ends up loading up that Reaver before taking any damage. But, like, this is how important the Reaver is. Like, look at what Best is defending with. It's 2 Reavers. His goons aren't even there to help support it. Like, that's it. Like, he's saying, I've got to stop you with this. Otherwise, you know, I'm pretty much doomed here. Like, that's how important these units are. Now, these mines... Okay... Actually, this was really good control. That's actually crazy control. He lost 1 goon there. I don't know how many vultures he actually killed, but look at the supply shoot up. He's up 32 now. He's down 7 workers, so it's actually like he's up 40 supply. This is a really good comeback from Best right now. Oh, goodbye, Goliath. Oh, no. Well, he might lose that shuttle. That is, with +1, that's going to die in 1 shot. Yep, bye. Goodbye. Well, that was the lifeline. And now, I guess the question is did Best buy enough time to get up critical mass of his gateway units? He at least does have speed on his Zealots. It looked like a decent-sized army. 150 to 130 is no slouch. But Royal is just expanding. Like, his command center is completed. He's just falling back now. This was a genius play from Royal. I really love this. If he's not gonna, you know, all in here, he really did make it look like he was going to. And now, Protoss is on a really low worker count. Terran's on a massive econ, like absolutely crazy econ. 3rd base gonna be coming in. He's gonna be able to build so many factories. And Best, what can he do other than max out on 200 ASAP and go for a bust? And then pray that it works. Like, if he tries to go into 4th and 5th base, I just don't see how that's going to happen. You really help him in this particular scenario. Well, goodbye barracks, so I guess that's going to stall the factory flood, at least for a little bit of time. Still about a 40 army advantage, 11 worker difference, up 37 supply. One thing that I have noticed is there's no mines set up. Where are the mines? There's not even set up at the rally point. And Best is just going to attack. He doesn't even have vision. He just knows that all the tanks are on the left side, so he's going for it. And he's hitting at a really nice time because all the tanks are completely out of position. And like I said, there are no mines. Zealot's just going to run directly into the main. There's a decent amount of goons here too. If he had Reavers with his army, I think he might just completely end the game. But he's in the main now. His goons are going to be on high ground. What is... Royal got caught with his pants down here. Is this enough Protoss to actually win the game though? What's in that shuttle? Please be a Reaver or Storm or something. Oh, are you serious? This could be game ending. He's gonna kill a factory. There's 2 other factories that are burning. Tanks are luckily coming out for Royal. But he's lost all of his tanks. Oh, not all of his tanks. He's lost all of his vultures here for support. Look at the supplies. He's down almost 80 supply now. How did this happen? I can't even believe. By the way, there are still 5 tanks at the 3rd base. They're still sitting there at the ramp, not helping. And I think Royal just completely forgot about that army. And obviously Best did not forget about his army. Look at this just non-stop flood of blue units moving across the map. There's still not even that many mines set up. This game's over. It's over. He wasn't able to clean up the one timing that Best had. And I'm going to say that Best just stole this game from Royal. Royal looked like he was in a fantastic position. If he holds this attack, I think he's just dominating. So what a move from Best here. Royal's got to be really tilted about this loss, because I really do feel like he had it here. Not putting down those mines at his rally point or at the bridges really hurt him. And that means that Best is going to go up 1-0 in the series. And now we're going to be going into Best map pick, and it's going to be Blitz. And so far, every single game we've seen on Blitz, it's not gone well for Terran, except for maybe like one. In fact, if you remember, was it Best versus Rush? Rush went up to his 3rd base and immediately GG'd after 6 tanks died. So let's get into game 2 here, see if Best can go up 2-0, man. Okay, in the top right, our Protoss, it is Best. And in the bottom right, he got caught sleeping, not laying any mines last game. It is Royal. Damn, that was a clean timing from Best there. 1 second. And we've seen a lot of, probe shenanigans, proxy gates, forward gates on this map. I would actually love to see a back-to-back 12 Nexus, but with it being Blitz and with it being such a good forward gate map, I feel like you're just wasting an opportunity by not going for the forward gate or, gas steal it and probe harass. And there goes that gateway on the low ground. Probe being sent across the map. And this is most likely going to be probably like a, I was going to say like a gas steal or, get into the main and make a determination on whether you want to actually forward gate or not. But he's going to forward gate without even getting in. So it's going to be a lot of pressure coming in, and that is a 10 racks coming down for Royal. That's the common play on this map. Need as many Marines out as possible in case there's a gateway at your natural or 3rd base. And there's the gas steal. Pretty good gas steal timing also, like it doesn't give away whether anything is proxied or not. So I like that. And I wonder if Royal will just blindly build a 2nd racks. Probably not. We've got SCV moving out. So far the probe has done a good amount of damage, knocking down that SCV down to about half health. Now back in Best main, SC has not gotten any gas just yet. So this could be Nexus follow-up. Oh, look at that SCV! Almost takes down the probe. I think he's one shot away from getting taken down. Even though this is gasless, from Best, I think there is still a chance that this could be like, you know, 3 Zealots into Cybernetics. Now, Royal, I think, is trying to eBay block this. That is a common move. Ooh, that is a lot of pro speed to pull off for just one SCV. Wow, he really wants to make sure that this Nexus doesn't get delayed. But on the other side of the map, bunker is coming down, but there's no Marines nearby, and the bunker, well, it is going to finish. But I can tell you from experience, Zealots don't care about one Marine in a bunker. Yeah, he just face tanks it, man. I'm in there. We'll see how effective this Zealot is going to be. So far, he's done nothing. He's just taking a lot of shots right to his grill. He's already, what, down to a third health now? This was definitely not what Best was hoping for. I hope he doesn't run by again, because I don't think going for another run by is going to help him here. He didn't. What is he doing? Okay, yeah, okay, I think that's the safe thing to do, is just turn around. Because if he runs by, and it's 4 Marines versus 1 Zealot, he's going to lose that one also, and then probably Royal's just going to pull, and the game's going to be over, because you lost 2 Zealots, you don't have a Forge, you don't have a Cybernetics, you have nothing here. I think that is a very wise decision from Best there. Now, the SCV is still out on the map, and these Marines took basically no damage, so there's still pull potential if this SCV gets vision of the minerals, which he did, by the way. If this Zealot dies, I'm pulling, even if I have a command center behind it. I feel like this is just a free win. This guy doesn't have any units. Oh, SCV. Oh, who got jabbed right in the face. But it is not going to be a pull. I'm actually really surprised it's not a pull, since he has so many Marines left over. And he knows that that Zealot's basically dead. But we are going to get into a macro game. Gasless openers pretty much from both sides. This is so dangerous. It's still just 2 Zealots with one of them being heavily... If the pylon dies, what is he going to do? Yeah, there goes that Zealot. Immediately dies. If it's... Okay, luckily it's another Zealot popping out. If it was a Goon, it would have taken 13 more seconds, and I think the pylon dies, and then I think Marines start racking up probe kills, and it turns into a catastrophe. But with the additional Zealot popping out, he will save the day, push this back, and I feel like we... Yeah, I was about to say... Oh, that's an eBay. I was going to say, I feel like we saw someone go 3-fact or 4-fact as a follow-up. But it is going to be 2-fact, and look at this. Best mixing it up. It is straight DTs immediately after the Cybernetics. Temple Archive already halfway done. There's not even an add-on, so mines are not going to be here anytime soon. There's no academy, so he can't scan this, but luckily he has the turret. So I don't think he's going to die to the DTs, but the DTs will give him map presence, allow him to easily build another Nexus if he wants, or go for that right there, the DT drop. I'm hoping Royal gets an academy down pretty soon. He needs to figure out what he's facing. We've seen so many different variations of strategies on this map. We saw Reavers, of course. We've seen forward gates. We saw carriers from Mini. I mean, you can do all types of stuff on here, so you definitely need to figure out what you're facing off against ASAP. And Best has really not given away his tech just yet. However, okay, I thought that SCV had one more shot than it did. Does not confirm anything, doesn't even see the DT pop out. But he is going to have the turret in time. This should do no damage, but it's not a big commitment to the DTs. So I think just going to go into Nexus as a follow-up. Probably going to build a Stargate also. But no Stargate just yet. There we go, DTs. What? Well, it's dead. Oh, what is Best doing? Is he going to run by again? There's no way he runs by again. Okay, well, I guess this will be annoying because he can get into the mineral line, but... is Royal going to risk it? He's going to try and snipe this. Okay, that was good micro right there. You can see that he damaged the DT a little bit, but doesn't get the kill off. And, I mean, it's just an annoying thing to deal with, but it's not really going to do much damage. Third Nexus about halfway done. Royal hasn't really committed to a strategy just yet. I don't think he's built additional factories. Or maybe that's the additional factories. Maybe there's third and fourth one coming in. I didn't see a command center. He has got his armory spinning already. Maybe this is going to be fast upgrades. And I think that is a shuttle. I really do. There we go. Okay. 4 DTs committed. Oh, he didn't react. His vultures were out of position, and now this turret's going to die. There's no scan. At least not yet. 2 SCVs gone. That DT's still annoying here. 3 SCVs? 4 maybe? And he's got the shuttle. So there's no Goliaths here. That means that the DTs can just reload up. Yeah, just like that. Oh my gosh, worker count was pretty close a moment ago. Now it's 53 to 38. And he's blown a scan. And there's still the DT at the natural, right? So he can't cover both of them. If he snipes this depot and then snipes the other depot and can get the armory, that would be huge. Loses 1 DT, but he's forced out both scans now. Now he can unload. He should really, my opinion is I think he should load both of those back up into the main and start taking down depots. This gas is not that important, but what is important is that depot and armory. Looks like the shuttle's gonna most likely get taken down in it. Yep, and he does get it. That means that the DTs will be taken down eventually, but behind this, it was no Stargate. It was just mass gateways. And I can't remember if those were zealots moving across the map, but those units are moving pretty quickly. Looks like he's trying to at least deny the third base of Royal here. That depot might fall. This is so annoying. And then it's a Reaver follow-up. Jeez. DT drop into Reaver. And this is just such a hard map to get your third base on as Terran when you're attacking uphill into Reavers that are on high ground. So unlike last game, I love Protoss's position right now. I feel like this is just fantastic. He's done a lot of damage. Didn't get the armory, but that's still fine. He's got a lot of gateways, and he's still got, even though it's a somewhat low probe count, 53. I mean, that's enough on 3 bases. You don't need more than that. Now, he didn't get any tanks, right? Like, he didn't get any key units. So the Terran army is still quite fearsome, but I feel like this is a pretty good spot for Protoss. Already up, what is it, 25 supply? Gotta subtract the worker gap, though, so only about 15 in terms of army advantage. And unlike the game with Rush, Royal is being very diligent to slowly move up. Okay, we've got a Vulture move out, but at the same time, tanks moving into position at the third base. And unlike in the game versus, was it Best versus Rush or Mini versus Rush? I can't remember exactly who it was, but Royal definitely didn't take any damage with his move out here, so he's gonna be able to get his third base. His worker count pretty good, 53 to 49. This is looking pretty fine to me. And there's that command center. Now, it is still a quite a big supply lead. Like, it's 40 supply. And look at this. Best is using all of his units, moving all of his units to the left side, and he's doing a Reaver drop in the main. I feel like this is a diversion. He wants to pull all those tanks out of position so that he can hit the third base. Turret died. Okay. 2 Reavers. He didn't send back any tanks, man. So these Reavers are going to do a ton of damage. All the SCVs are having to be pulled. Oh, there's a spider mine. Royal desperately needs this mine to connect. If this doesn't connect, I mean, this is already brutal damage. 60 supply lead now for Protoss. Absolutely crazy. Behind this, Best taking a 4th base at the same time. So, really nailing. Oh my god, this is gonna be a full-on assault. He's drawn so much stuff out of position. Look at this, like, once again, there's almost no mines. And he can just swing over with his Reavers. Goodbye, tanks. There goes one of the tanks. The Zealots have already gotten on top of the rest of the this is a disaster. This is picture perfect play right here. This is what you want to have happen when you're playing Protoss versus Terran as a Protoss player. I mean, this is the dream scenario. Just get completely on top of the tanks, no Vulture support, and this base is 100% dead. In fact, the game might just be absolutely over. There's nothing to stop. He has 0 tanks. I realize bunkers are pretty good, but they ain't that good. Command center is gonna die. Best doing what he does best, which is just rally units across the map. And this is going to be an easy victory for Best. GG comes out, and there we go. We've got Protoss up 2-0. Best is just nailing it in this tournament. He's looking so good, especially in PvT. We've always known his PvT is amazing, but for whatever reason, this particular tournament, he's turning on the juice. And now if you're Royal, you've played pretty much standard games back to back, and it's been just a blowout with one mass timing. So maybe we need to switch it up here. Go for some more harassment type play or something to slow down Best, because right now he's just running him over. So let's get into game 3. It's going to be Radion. It is Royal's pick. Okay, well, in the bottom left, 1 game away, we do have Best. And in the top left, man, not his day-to-day, it is Royal. I will say, though, I think that these spawns are really good for Terran. The reason is, Terran generally can get 3 bases pretty easily. Maybe not versus Best. But if you can get 3 bases here on Radion, your 3rd base is towards the Protoss' 3rd base at mid-left. Also, there's, tiny bridges there. You can just leapfrog and shut down that 3rd base. So that means that Protoss can really never take that base. It makes it kind of difficult with these types of spawns. So I will give Royal the slight advantage because of how the game, because of these positions. But once again, I'm going to go with what I said last time. I would love to see another 12 Nexus here. Even though Royal killed the 12 Nexus on Retro, maybe he killed it simply because Best just, didn't respect the follow-up. Like, he went 1 gate, man, and he built 2 Zealots. What? But it is going to be Gateway in the main, and Royal going to go for somewhat of a forward racks. Generally, when you see the forward racks like this, it means it's going to be a 12 gas. But we'll see if he wants to mix it up and go for something like an 11 here. And it is not going to be the 11 gas. In fact, it's starting to look like it's going to be gasless. Okay, there we go. There's a mix-up. I can get down with this. Play a gasless game. Try and get some big econ versus Best. Maybe be able to survive his 1 massive attack. And then follow up with a counter game-ending move yourself. I like that. You can see the logic there. Now Best, unfortunately, probably going to last scout this. And that means that Terran's going to get away with pretty much murder. This is about as good as an opener as you can get. Gasless, be scouted last. And you have Protoss going for a normal opener here. Pretty much the dream scenario. Command center coming down. Depot in position in case there was some Zealot pressure. But it is not going to be the case this time around. As you can see, Best supply is pretty much the exact same as his probe count. So no hidden Zealot being built. And there's going to be the gas. 240 gas with a gasless opener. This is just so good. This is just so good for Royal. In Best main, I think he rushed range also. So at least he's going to have range here. Try and be able to get some damage done onto the bunker. Force a lot of repair money to be... Whoa, I heard a pylon. Okay. This is interesting, okay? Because even though he scouted him last, he knows that Royal hasn't scouted, and he also didn't intercept the SCV. So he probably thought, like, this guy must have gasless, because why else are you not scouting? This is amazing Star Sense. This has got to be a robo, right? It's got to be. I think it's got to be. Please prove me right. But he did queue up an additional... oh, it's not. Wow. I guess he He wanted to act like he was going to do it. And I think if that pylon doesn't get scouted, he would have 100% gone for it. But instead, he's not going to risk it. He knows it was scouted. He knows Terran's going to be building Marines nonstop and set up for an SCV pull. And the thing is Terran doesn't know whether it was started or not. Now he'll be able to confirm it. So now he's kind of... What's the word? I can't think of the word right now, but he knows that he's safe at this point. And he will just go for a 2-fact follow-up. Doesn't have to rush the eBay. And Terran's already up 3 workers. His command center's already done. He's going to balloon that worker advantage. Probably to upwards of 5, I would guess. And Best is going to have to claw his way back into this game by just being annoying with these Dragoons. In Best main, obviously the Nexus is about halfway done or close to being done. Should have a Robo almost done by now. I don't see any other key. Oh, is that? Okay, that's it. Yeah, of course. I don't see any other key. Oh, actually, there's a third building that's huge at the natural of Royal. That's got to be a factory because his factory in his main isn't done. Oh, okay. Maybe it was another eBay. Okay, double eBay. Oh, okay. I was like, wow, third factory and he put it in the natural. I haven't really seen that often. But it was just an accidental additional eBay. But look at that worker advantage. 8 workers, man. That is brutal. That is crazy. Once again, Best is going to have to try and make a miracle happen here to recover his econ, to try and get on par with Royal. First tank is out. These 4 goons have done what they were designed to do, which is just damage the bunker and being... What? He's running for it? Man, he ran by that bunker on Blitz, not once, but twice. Once with the Zealot and with the DT, and then attempted another run by with these goons. I think Best has gotten a hold of a few Ghost Through Dark replays. He's seen the success that guy has had, and he thinks that he can make it work, but I don't know if that type of move can work versus someone like Royal. It was straight Reaver this game. Shuttle is already out and should be on the move pretty soon, but turret's already getting into position. It's now only a 5 worker lead, so I guess you can find solace in that, knowing that you've caught up, you know, just slightly. Third Nexus coming down, and once again, the onus is going to be on these Reavers to buy time. Just gotta buy time and let those 3 bases kick in, get some few tanks. Gotta try and recover your econ here. That is a really late armory, by the way. For a gasless opener, this is really late. This means, at least I think, that this could be like a 5 or 6 fact timing. Vultures are moving across the map. Is there a gap between the egg and the gateway? I don't think so. But overall, this was a smart move. Lays a couple of mines. Doesn't really force... Oh, it doesn't force much out because Terran's dealing with the drop in the main. Reaver takes a lot of damage, but gets a few kills off. Now, actually, Terran is behind in workers. He's already got 3 kills on that Reaver. That shuttle's basically dead, but that was massively worth. Evens up the workers, gets a tank, gets some SCVs, forces lost mining, and Protoss' third Nexus is basically done. Looking at supplies, basically even at this point. I think Best is already done. I think he's already recovered at this point. And now, should be able to start skyrocketing his supply like we know he can do. But with that trade of with that loss of the shuttle and the Reaver, Ro's going to take an advantage of his big macro opener. He's going to take a 3rd command center on location already. He only has 2 factories, though. That is quite risky. But I don't remember seeing an observer. Okay, there's the observer. But I don't think the observer has spotted the 3rd command center is what I mean. Well, now he does. And, I mean, the tank count is so low. Like, actually, 5 goons might win the battle. Maybe not, though. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, that was really good micro from Royal there to save his tank. Oh no, that was a catastrophe. I was completely wrong about that. Not only did Protoss not win the fight, they didn't even kill a single tank. But despite that loss, Protoss still up 15 supply. Finally starting to build up his gateway count and get some gas coming in. He's on to 3 gates now. Forge coming in to get that +1. 5 fact. Okay, there we go. But you're trading so much for this. Wow, he didn't even get that tank. So he's lost 9 goons for 1 tank. Looking a little rough here. Ain't gonna lie. And with those big wins, I think Ro should really consider just cutting SCVs at this point and really just going all out. Tons of factories ASAP. You've killed 9. I mean, that's a huge commitment or a huge loss of goons. It's also gas, right? And he's gonna have to rebuild those dragoons to just make his comp balanced out. So expensive losses. We got another Reaver out. 2 Zealots to help support. Starport's done. Gonna be getting that science facility pretty soon to go into his +2. But I'm not really seeing any angle other than this right now where the turret is not completed. Gets a Reaver unloaded. Actually, there's a lot of SCVs that just clumped up. What did he lose? Like 5 SCVs there? 7 SCVs? Something like that. Another SCV is gonna fall. Really good Reaver damage this game, I gotta say. And best, he's in a good position. Look at this, he's taking bottom right now. 4th base coming up. His gateway count, I think, is pretty decent at maybe like 6 or so. Because he has his 2nd gas, I'm gonna guess that he probably has his Citadel and Templar Archive done, or at least coming online pretty soon. I don't see any. Actually, there could be Arbiter, by the way. I do see a somewhat big building off in a off to the side of his base. That could be a Stargate, but we've got the Reaver coming into the 3rd base once again, looking for some more SCV kills. No Goliaths in this army, so the shuttle can just stay alive forever. Ooh, see ya, Marines. Well, as I say that, the Reaver dies, and now the shuttle's just gonna have to walk away with those 2 Zealots. Big transfer down the bottom right. Did not get intercepted by any vultures. At least not just yet. Look at this. Royal might catch them. And those buildings were not Stargates that I was expecting. We got to look at it. They were actually gates. And Templar Archive's about done. So Storm hasn't even started, but should be starting pretty soon. Now, if you're Royal here, you've killed a lot of goons, but you have taken some losses. Do you still commit to something like a 2-1 timing? Or do you just expand on the back of this? I feel like just expanding again towards top middle would be a nice move. You've killed a lot of the dragoons out. There's no way that Protoss can attack into you. Supply, gap isn't that big. So I think just taking another base could be nice. Another big probe transfer down to bottom right. Gonna have massive econ coming in. I think it's like 8 gates for Protoss. Yeah, 8 gates exactly. So not really the biggest production just yet. Terran could have a moment of opportunity to make an attack work if he wants. Vulture's running by, getting intercepted by Dragoons, most likely just going to die off. But he does confirm that the Zealot count is really high. He also, I think, saw Double Shuttle and saw Templars, so he knows that it's Gateway Man with Templars. There's no chance of Arbiters, at least not just yet. There's no carriers. He knows what he's facing off against. Needs to get a lot of Goliaths mixed in here. Definitely want to eliminate the shuttle ASAP. Something like 8 Goliaths would be nice. 6 Goliaths, something like that to one-shot the shuttles would be really, really good. But best just continuing to macro here. Taking a 5th base now. Got his 3rd gas now. And unlike the other 2 games where his probe count was, pretty low at 55, he's got 63 workers. He's got some big econ, and we are finally getting a look at Terran's main. I saw, what was this? 8 factories. That's pretty damn good. I think that's pretty much what you're looking at, or looking for as Terran. 8 to 9. I noticed that 2-1 is not done just yet. There's a vessel though, but because there's a vessel out, this looks like he's actually going to do a 2-1 timing. Try and EMP those Templars. EMP a big blob of Zealots. Could also be nice. It looks like still no move out just yet. I guess Royals, not max. They're not fully committed to attacking just yet, but I'm surprised that he's been pinned back for this long after having his gasless opener. And another Nexus for Best. This is a 6 base now. Terran's still just building up. Tank count, I gotta say, is not the biggest. What is it, like 12 or so? Something along those lines. Okay, actually it's bigger than I thought. Maybe like 14. Alright, see you later, support bay. So we're not going to have any 20-minute reavers in this game unless that gets rebuilt. We're not going to channel his inner mini, try and micro it to his heart's content. 20 minutes into the game with a maxed out army. But lots of gates. Oh, triggering the go switch. Shuttles move in. No. Oh, he baited him, actually. Wow, this is a really good trade for Royal already. He saved all of his vultures. Zealots ate a lot of mines. And what did he lose for that? Maybe like 3 or 4 tanks? I would take that trade any day of the week. 3 or 4 tanks for that many losses, plus losing a storm. Really good trade for Royal. And now, he's going to take that trade to his advantage and take his 4th base now. Protoss' army is still very scary. I mean, and Terran's army is also very scary also, but I don't think he can attack into this anymore. There's a lot of stuff at the rally point, as we can see. Storm would be nice, but hard to move in with all those Goliaths just sitting there waiting. What is it, 3, 4? Actually, it's 5 Goliaths. Good Storm, gets some of the vultures, gets a little bit of damage onto the tanks, but I think Royal's going to get his 4th base quite easily. However, Best having 6 bases already, it's still scary for Terran. Terran with his gasless opener is going to be mined out in his main and natural pretty soon, so it's just going to be 2 base Terran versus like 5 base Protoss. You know, assuming that Protoss' main is going to be mined out pretty soon also. A second Robo. Oh, okay. He's going to be Robo Man. Here we go. We may actually have a big engagement at this point. Terran is way far out. And that's actually, once again, no mines on the right side. Good Storm right there. Catches some Goliaths. EMP hit one of the Templars. That's great. Where are the Zealots, man? Wow, these storms are doing work. Supply has really shot down quite a bit for Royal. He's down to 122. I don't even know how he lost so much, because Protoss' army really wasn't that big right there. Behind this, it looks like Best was just doing what he did like on Retro, where he was just making maximum damage happen this time around with his storms, and left just a massive chunk of his army back at his rally point. He cleared out a lot of vultures. I mean, look, there's almost no vultures and no mines now. If he just jumps on this army, this could be once again just catching Terran out of position. Oh my, I just realized also Protoss has +2, +1. This is a sick timing. 2-1 versus 2-1 is actually pretty damn good for Protoss. Here we go, Zealots getting on top of the army. Storm, we need it. There it is, there's the first one, and he blankets the retreating tanks. This is clean play from Best, I gotta say. He catches, once again, several tanks out of position. There's still storms. Storm! That's a really good storm right there. And Royal is just getting absolutely picked apart by the movement of Best in this series. Like, the attacks have been kind of iffy in the early game, but these mid-game and late-game attacks have been fantastic. Shutting down this 4th base for so long, this is really painful. He's also softened up so many tanks. Like, they are very weak. And as a Terran player myself, I know Terran players don't really do a very good job at repairing tanks. However, you can see that the big 3-2 power spike has kicked in, but look, it's 8 tanks in the center of the map. Kill it. Get on this army. There's nothing there to support it. He doesn't have an observer. Oh, somehow he knows. Here we go, Zealots. Trying to get on top of these tanks. Wow, he's going to kill so many tanks here. Whoa, he had even more Zealots loaded up in those shuttles. And once again, the tank count is just going to get reset over and over and over, and we're into the 4th base, and now at this point, it's a 60 supply lead. This is starting to, get into unrecoverable territory. Vultures just can't engage into this. There's so many Zealots and Goons. It's just impossible. Terran has lost almost 20 workers now, down to 44. Protoss is almost back to max, by the way. 160 off of what? He's still got 12 gates or something? He can max in almost one cycle. And Best, he's taking another base. Mid left is about to be his. 7 base Protoss. And with the double, yeah, with the double robotics, he just has a permanent, a permanent mini recall because of how many shuttles he has. Okay, he eliminates one of the shuttles, but there's still 5 more. Also with the shuttles, he can just avoid the spider mines. That is hilarious. But did he really not load up his shuttles here? Didn't really look like much unloaded. So that actually got cleaned up pretty easily. And that was actually not the greatest trade. He lost several shuttles there. Lost a lot of zealots and goons. Didn't kill much. Terran has caught up a little bit. It's 145 to 120 now. But still, Protoss is just in such a dominant position. We saw his 2-1 timing. He should probably have 3-2 pretty soon. But I gotta tell you, Terran 3-2, Terran doesn't care about armor once they get +3. So, I'm not sure how impactful the +2 armor will be for Protoss here, but of course the +3 weapon for him will be looking pretty good. Okay, and he does have 3-2, okay. Yes, Best has got his eyes set on a new position. He really wants this third base. And there's not a lot of tanks here. It's 2 tanks. Both of them are going to die almost immediately. Wow, there's no defense. There's no defense. This base is going to get blown up. Also, with the Templars being here and this being a tiny choke, they can just sheriff the line here and say, you shall not pass. Just blanket the army with storms. And this really looks like it's going to be a 3-0. I don't see how Royal recovers from this. He's lost so much. He hasn't taken any SCV kills, so I guess that's good. But Protoss has so many bases, he can just replenish this army in an instant. In fact, at the rally point, you can see there's a massive blue blob there. He's already replenished it. Get in there, Archon, get some SCV kills. Royal didn't transfer any of his workers, by the way. He needs to be very careful. Okay, Command Center's dead. And he didn't drill his SCVs either. All these SCVs are done. They're gone. I mean, this has got to be it, right? Terran's sub 100 supply. He has no tanks. He has no vultures. He has no SCVs. He has 1 Command Center mining. This has got to be GG. He can't even deal with these goons and 2 Templars. There it is. GG comes out, and wow, that was utter domination. It really didn't look like in any of these games Best was in trouble, except for maybe the early stages of Retro. I think that was simply because he went for a 1-gate follow-up. I think that was very risky and he got punished. But Blitz, a blowout. This game, a blowout. Really, really well done. And Best is looking very dominant in PvT. So let's get a look at the bracket now. And this does set us up for what I talked about last time. It's going to be a revenge match. Sharp versus Best. We had Sharp take down Best in ASL. That is going to be an amazing matchup, especially because both of these players are playing so well. And then, like I stated in previous broadcasts, Snow versus Shine. Snow crushed Hero, right? Like that was a crazy 3-0. But Shine, he's very dangerous, man. Like he's not going to play you straight up all the time. I think that this could be a close series. And either way, our round of 4 is looking great. We've got 2 Protoss, 1 Zerg, 1 Terran, very balanced. I always love it when it's balanced. And we've avoided mirrors, so that's very nice. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate the support. If you want to continue to, or if you are looking to support StarCast, we have a Patreon page. You should definitely check that out. Your support really does help out the channel. It helps us create these Star Leagues and helps us create future Star Leagues too. Also goes towards getting replays from pros, setting up revenge matches, stuff along those lines. So definitely consider becoming a Patreon supporter or making a direct donation. I think Cruiser's PayPal is listed on the YouTube channel. So definitely consider doing that. And I look forward to seeing you in the round of 4. Take care.